Billionaire investor Warren Buffett is well known for his witty comments and brilliant one-liners in interviews.
I heard they are going to call off the Wall Street Christmas pageant because they couldn't find three wise men. And there's been a real problem there. They couldn't find a virgin either, but that's another problem.
Remember when Warren got on this subject and they asked him what he wanted said at his funeral? He said, "I want them to all be saying that's the oldest looking corpse I ever saw." and
that may be the smartest thing I ever said.
The way Warren Buffett conducts his annual shareholder meetings, one would think that he's a gifted public speaker. But that was not the case.
I was terrified of speaking in public when I was in high school. I avoided any class that would require it. I was absolutely, throughout high school and college, terrified of public speaking. I avoided any classes, signing up for them that would require it. I would get physically ill if it even thought about having to do it, let alone doing it.
Even from young age, Buffett understood the value of public speaking, and he chose to face his fears.
I had to be able to communicate with people better, and I mean in groups particularly. I just knew that I couldn't go through life terrified of public speaking.
Then he came to know about the Dale Carnegie public speaking course.
I went down to a Dale Carnegie course when I was at Columbia and signed up for it, gave him a check for $100, went back to my room and stopped payment on the check. This is a real man of courage you're looking at up here. And then I came out to Omaha and I saw a similar ad. I was at the Rome Hotel for you old-timers in Omaha on 16th Street, and I went down there. And this time I took $100 in cash and gave it to Wally Keenan, who some of you may know. He died some years ago. First time I'd met him, and I took that course.
Warren Buffett said, "If I hadn't done that public speaking course, my whole life would be different. That $100 course gave me the most important degree I have. It certainly had the biggest impact in terms of my subsequent success."
One thing I will tell you that I didn't realize when I was getting out of school is how much the unusual person will jump out at you. I mean, and it isn't because they got 200 IQs or anything like that. It's really because of just how they behave, what they bring, the energy they bring, the commitment they bring, the quality of how they do things, how they treat the people around them, all kinds of things. But you will jump out much more than you might anticipate. One of the things you would want to be sure to do is, whether you like it or not, get very comfortable, it may take a while, with public speaking, for example. I mean, that's an asset that will last you 50 or 60 years, and it's a liability if you don't like doing it and are uncomfortable doing it, that also will last you 50 or 60 years, and it's a necessary skill.
Warren Buffett said, "Whatever you do, good communication skills are incredibly important, and something that almost anybody can improve upon. If you can't communicate, it's like winking at a girl in the dark. Nothing happens. You can have all the brain power in the world, but you have to be able to transmit it. And the transmission is communication."
I think the ability to communicate both in writing and orally is of enormous importance, undertaught. Most graduate business schools, they wouldn't find an instructor to do it because it would sort of be beneath them to do something so supposedly simple. But if you can communicate well, you have an enormous advantage.
Warren Buffett said, "If you invest your time in developing your communication skills, it can improve your value by 50%. A relatively modest improvement in your communication skills can make a major difference in your future earning power, as well as in many other aspects of your life." Research conducted by Forbes magazine shows that 85% of your financial success comes from your ability to communicate and negotiate effectively. And good communication skills are considered to be the most imperative skills a manager must have.
Believe me, I was in certain ways quite introverted. It's important to get out there and do it while you're young. If you wait till you're 50, it's probably too late. But if you do it while you're young, just force yourself into situations where you have to develop those abilities. And I think the best way to do that is to get in with a whole bunch of other people who are having equal problems, because then you find you're not alone and you don't feel quite as silly. And of course, that's what they did at the Dale Carnegie course. I mean, we would get up in front of 30 other people who could hardly give their own name. And after a while, we found out we could actually pronounce our own name in front of a group. But we would stand on tables and do all kinds of silly things just to get outside of ourselves.
In Warren Buffett's office, you won't see any of his degrees hanging on the wall from the University of Nebraska or Columbia University, but you will see that one award certificate he got from the Dale Carnegie course.
I proposed to my wife during the Dale Carnegie course. So, I mean, I got my money's worth right during the course.
Warren Buffett's lifelong pursuit of investing in himself and his communication skills should be an example to leaders and entrepreneurs everywhere. It might just be the secret ingredient of his success.